When Daniel opened the door that evening, he never expected his entire life to change in a single heartbeat. The woman standing before him wasn't just his blind date. She carried a secret that would force him to confront the pain he'd buried for years. And when she whispered those 7 words, "My kids are in the car," Daniel realized fate had just knocked on his door, literally. It had been 3 long years since Daniel Pierce lost his wife, Emma. She was the love of his life, the woman who made him believe in forever. Her sudden passing in a car accident left Daniel shattered, alone with their 5-year-old daughter, Lily. He had promised himself never to love again, not because he didn't want to, but because he didn't believe he could. Every time he looked into Lily's big blue eyes, he saw Emma's face, her laughter, her warmth. That memory was both his comfort and his curse. Daniel worked as a high school art teacher in a quiet suburban town. His life was a pattern of repetition. Wake up, make breakfast, drop Lily at kindergarten, teach, pick her up, make dinner, and read bedtime stories. Nights were the hardest. When Lily slept, the silence of the house felt like a storm he couldn't escape. His best friend, Marcus, had been trying for months to get him to start dating again. "Man, you're 33, not 60, Marcus would say. "You can't hide from life forever." One evening, Marcus took matters into his own hands. Without Daniel's permission, he created a dating profile for him on a local matchmaking app. "You owe me at least 1 date," Marcus said, handing him his phone with a grin. That's how Daniel met her, Sophie Bennett. Her profile was simple: single mom, loves coffee, long drives, and people who are kind to kids. There was something honest and grounded about her words. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She was just real. After a week of chatting, they decided to meet for dinner at Daniel's house. Lily was staying overnight with her grandparents. Daniel spent the whole day cleaning, cooking, and second-guessing his decision. He didn't even know why he was nervous. This was just a dinner. But deep down, it wasn't. It was the first time in years he was opening not just his home, but his heart. When the doorbell rang, Daniel wiped his hands on a towel, took a deep breath, and opened the door. Sophie stood there, wearing a soft gray sweater, jeans, and a nervous smile. Her auburn hair fell over her shoulders, and her hazel eyes looked both tired and kind. But before he could even greet her, she whispered, almost apologetically, "My kids are in the car." Daniel froze. Kids. Plural. For a moment, he didn't know what to say. His pulse quickened, not out of fear, but confusion. He hadn't expected this. The date hadn't even started, and suddenly it wasn't just about 2 people. It was about families. Sophie noticed his hesitation. "I'm so sorry," she said quickly. "I didn't want to surprise you, but my babysitter canceled last minute. I didn't want to reschedule again. They'll just sit quietly in the car for a few minutes while we talk." But before she could finish, Daniel stepped aside and said softly, "No, bring them in." Her eyes widened, surprised. "Really?" she asked. "Of course. No kid should wait in a car while their mom's inside. Bring them in. I made too much food anyway." Her shoulders relaxed, and for the first time that evening, she smiled, really smiled. She went to the car, and moments later, 2 small figures appeared. A boy, maybe 8, and a little girl, around 5, holding her mother's hand tightly. "This is Noah and Grace," Sophie introduced. Daniel knelt down and smiled. "Hey there, I'm Daniel. You too like spaghetti?" Grace giggled shyly. "With cheese." "The cheesier, the better," he replied, grinning. Dinner turned out far better than either of them expected. The kids loved the food. Lily's old coloring books kept them busy, and for the first time in years, Daniel found himself laughing again, genuinely. As the night went on, Sophie shared bits of her story. She had been divorced for 2 years. Her ex-husband, Ryan, left when Grace was a baby, saying he wasn't built for family life. Since then, Sophie had been raising her kids alone, juggling 2 jobs, teaching piano in the mornings and working at a local bakery at night. "I promised myself I'd never date again," she admitted, stirring her tea. "I didn't think anyone would want a woman with 2 kids." Daniel smiled faintly. "Funny. I thought no one would want a man who still talks to his late wife's picture every night." Their eyes met, and something unspoken passed between them. an understanding only two broken hearts could share. Weeks turned into months. Daniel and Sophie began seeing each other often. Sometimes it was coffee after work. Sometimes it was a movie night with the kids. Slowly, Lily, Noah, and Grace became inseparable. They built pillow forts, had backyard picnics, and argued over board games. The laughter that had vanished from Daniel's home slowly returned, filling every empty corner. Still, Daniel was cautious. He didn't want to rush. One evening, while tucking Lily into bed, she asked a question that caught him off guard. "Daddy," she said softly, "is Miss Sophie going to be my new mommy?" Daniel froze. He kissed her forehead and whispered, "Not yet, sweetheart. But she's a very special friend." When he turned off the light, he sat on the couch for a long time, thinking, could he really open his heart again? Could he let someone new in without feeling like he was betraying Emma? Later that week, Sophie sensed his distance. They were sitting in the park while the kids played on the swings. "You've been quiet lately," she said gently. "Is everything okay?" Daniel sighed. "Sometimes I feel guilty for being happy, like I'm forgetting her." Sophie placed her hand over his. "You're not forgetting her, Daniel. You're honoring her by living. She'd want you to be happy. I know what it's like to love someone who left too soon. But the past isn't meant to be a prison." Her words stayed with him. One evening, just as Daniel was preparing dinner, the phone rang. It was Sophie, her voice trembling. "Daniel, I need your help. I'm at the hospital." His heart raced. "What happened?" "It's Noah. He fell off his bike. He's okay, but he needs stitches. I can't handle this alone right now." Within minutes, Daniel was there. He held Noah's hand while the doctors treated him, cracked jokes to distract him, and made Sophie breathe again when she was on the verge of tears. That night, as he tucked Noah into bed in the hospital room, Daniel realized something. This wasn't just dating anymore. This was family. Months later, Daniel took Sophie and the kids to the lakeside park where he used to go with Emma. The sunset reflected off the water, painting everything in soft orange and blue. "Sophie," he said quietly, "I know life hasn't been easy for either of us. But these past months, you've shown me that love doesn't replace what's lost, it grows around it. You brought light back into Lily's life. Into mine." Tears filled Sophie's eyes. "Daniel," he smiled, "I don't know what the future holds. But if you're willing, I'd like to find out, with you and the kids." Sophie nodded, tears slipping down her cheeks. "I'd like that too." A year later, the house that once echoed with silence now overflowed with laughter. Lily, Noah, and Grace chased each other around the yard, while Sophie and Daniel watched from the porch, sipping coffee. It wasn't a perfect life, but it was theirs. Daniel often thought back to that night when he first opened the door and heard those words, "My kids are in the car." He used to think that moment changed his life because of who he met. But now, he realized it changed him because it reminded him of something deeper. Love isn't always about starting over. Sometimes, it's about learning to live again, with all your scars, all your memories, and all your heart. Sometimes, the people who walk into your life when you least expect them are the ones sent to heal what you thought would never mend. Love doesn't erase the past. It helps you build a future strong enough to hold it.